Why do we care about prepping for these encounters? Even if our dogs say, like, we wouldn't be like, oh, well, my dog's not reactive, so I don't really care about seeing other dogs in the environment, or something like that. A big number one reason is that those dogs are going to raise your dog's arousal level, right? So even if your dog doesn't particularly care about these other dogs, it's inevitably going to raise the level of your dog's arousal. And that's often why our dogs have much bigger feelings at trials than we do kind of in class, or at a seminar or workshop, or a private lesson or anything like that. The number one thing we want to remember throughout all this is to never leave your dog hanging. So we want our dogs to feel like they can rely on us, to understand exactly what's going to happen kind of at all times, and that they can look to us for consistency, and they can look to us for structure, because clear structure always leads to success. So when dogs aren't quite sure what's expected of them or aren't quite sure what's going on, that tends to potentially add some feelings in there, and a lot less focus. And then focus is exactly really what we want. We want to make sure we have some good focus. In order to teach it, I like to start with one dot. Um, I like to, if you're using dots, I like to name the dots. Versus if you're just using spots on the ground, you don't necessarily have to name the spots on the ground. I just tend to find for the agility environment, it tends to make it a little bit more concrete for dogs to name it. So start with one, essentially say dot, and then put a piece of food down on the dot. When they look up at you, just repeat. And we'll start with one dot, and then we're just going to kind of increase the number of dots.